Welcome back to SWAM course on Design Thinking and Innovation. This is week 8. We are covering tools, two major tools, how to create personas and then how to create a table, OIOR table. More on that soon. So, it's section T8, week 8. So, we are going to be covering personas and the OIOR table. So, what are personas? Personas represent a typical user from your user segment, again related to your topic or the problem space. You define the personas by his or her characteristics. And you can have several personas to represent different types of users. So, let us look at an example. The topic is designing toys for children. The following could be the different personas: Avani the child or the daughter, Avanish the brother, Sonam the mother, Alima the play school teacher. All of them, or some way or the other, are very much involved with designing toys for children. Let us look at the steps in creating or building a persona. First, make a list of the users connected with your topic. You could refer to week 4 of user participant mapping. Select the most important users relevant to your problem space. Write down the typical characteristics for each of the users. You could also choose an image or sketch the user. You could also create a user scenario or story depicting the different steps of the user activity. So, you could do a mind map. So, here is a persona, for example. The demographics would be age, gender, profession, education, responsibilities, ownership and the location, right. And interest and likes could be what is the interest in media, performing arts, homemaking, environment, sports and many other things. And personality and values could be they're expressive or they're social, they have a respect for life, they're collaborative, friendly. Yeah. So, you define the persona with different characteristics. Let us have a look at personas. We are looking at personas from the topic of designing toys for children. So, this is Avani, age 5, very friendly, talkative, active and extremely neat. She likes school, likes to go to the park and visit the museum, spend time in the library. She does not like malls, spiders and doctor. This is her brother Avanish, age 6, very naughty, playful and untidy. He likes school, he also likes park, he likes jokes and games. He does not like pools, ghosts and police. Let us have some more personas while designing toys for children. This is Sonam, mother in her 30s. She is a software programmer. She likes to spend time with her children, going for weekend shopping and movies. Home activities include cooking, maintaining the house. And this is Alima here in her 30s. She is the play school teacher. She likes to engage children in play learn activity. She is an avid reader. She likes movies and plays. She maintains homes and collects curios. So, if you look at it, you kind of define the user segment connected to the topic. Here it was designing toys for children. Now, you can use their activity is to create a scenario or a story connected with designing for children. For example, Avani has taken out a lot of efforts to construct a tree house out of her wooden blocks. This is in the evening after school. Then comes Avanish, her brother. He comes from school and spoils her tree house. Mother Sonam scolds Avanish and decides to find a toy that can be used collaboratively, shared and be playful. For this, what does she do? She calls Alima, the play school teacher, to take suggestions. So, the scenario can go on, but I am sure that you are getting the gist of it. You kind of putting a scenario in which the toys, the subject of toys is an important factor, and it is being used in different ways. So, there is a need for a solution that is a toy that can be used collaboratively, that can be shared and it can be playful, that is meant for both girls and boys. Okay. So, you kind of define what the problem statement is through the scenario. Are personas essential? Conceiving the personas helps you choose the characteristics of a typical user group, but for your chosen problem, they might not be a typical user group. All users could be very much part of it. In that case, it is probably not necessary to build a persona. Okay. So, you see if there is a typical users which is relevant to your topic. If everybody is the user, then I think it is probably not very essential to build a persona. Making of the personas, can it be done individually or in small groups? Yes, it can be done both individually and in small groups. Working in groups, as we mentioned before, you can share responsibilities while doing the personas. How many of these personas? The suggested number is from 1 to 4. Okay. Basically, you need to select the ones that are most relevant to your topic. What is OIOR? OIOR is an acronym, refers to observations, that is O, inferences I, opportunities, again a O, and then recommendations for design. So, OIOR. So, it is part of the analysis. It takes you from starting with observations to making inferences from it and discovering opportunities, then to outlining the recommendations for design. Okay. So, observations, inferences, opportunities and recommendations. So, again observations, inferences, opportunities and then recommendations. Let us look at the details. Observations refers to the information or data that you gathered both from primary and secondary research. Inferences refers to the conclusions that you reach through critical analysis of this information, again with respect to your problem space. Opportunities are discovery of factors that could be helpful for solving issues, again connected with your problem space. And finally, the recommendation is the listing of factors that kind of show the way towards possible design ideas or solutions. Let us look at its steps. First, list the relevant observations, again connected with your topic. These would have come both from primary and secondary research. Make a list of inferences from your study. This is part of the analysis. Make a list of opportunities for design thrown up by these inferences, and then make a list of recommendations for design based on opportunities for design. And you can do this as a form of a table, and based on the table and looking at its priorities, you can actually revisit and redefine the earlier problem statement itself. Okay. So, list of observations, inferences, opportunities, recommendations, make a table and then redefine the problem statement. So, let us look at an example. This is designing a toy for children, observations, inferences, opportunities and recommendations. Let us look at the first observation. Okay. The first observation is that the boys and girls mostly play separately. So, what could be the inferences? The type of play seems different for boys and girls. Okay. Is it an opportunity for design? Yes. So, you could explore play activities that could be of interest to both boys and girls, and the recommendation for design is that design a play activity that is gender neutral. Okay. So, let us go it. Boys and girls mostly play separately, that is the observation. Inferences is that the play seems to be different for boys and girls, they play different kind of games. Okay. And the opportunity is that explore activities that could be of interest to both boys and girls. So, can you actually design a play activities gender neutral? Okay. So, let us look at the second observation. Storytelling is part of our culture and tradition in India, and inference is that stories are very interesting to children. So, explore play activities using stories or narratives, that is the opportunity, and the recommendation is design a play activity that is based on a story. Okay. So, starting with being part of the culture, being very interesting for children and exploring it as a play activity and integrating it into a play activity. This is to do with storytelling. Let us look at the third observation. School teachers would like to make learning joyful. So, learning could be much more fun if it is through play activities, that is the inference. Is it an opportunity for design? Yes, explore play and learn activities together, so that you can actually, by playing you can actually learn. And then what is the recommendation? Design a play activity that can help learn a concept. Okay. So, you had three observations A, B and C, and then you put it in form of a table. You could have many more observations and many more inferences, opportunities and recommendations. You could prioritize this. Okay. At the end of it you can decide which one to take forward. So, the initial concept or the topic that you started with now can be redefined, because you have a lot more information and depth into your study. So, let us try to do that. So, you started with this problem statement, designing an engaging toy for children. Now, after these studies, let us look at how you can actually redefine it. Okay. So, now it has become designing an engaging play and learn constructive toy for children in the age group of 3 to 6 with features of collaboration, sharing and storytelling and using sustainable materials. So, what have you done here? You have actually put in lot more details into it. Okay. So, it was not just an engaging toy, it is engaging with combination of play and learn. Okay. And what kind of toy? It is a constructive toy, that means that you build it together, right, and it is in the age group of 3 to 6, okay, and it has features of collaboration, sharing and storytelling, and also it defines what kind of materials it is using, sustainable materials. So, this defined problem statement is a lot more detailed, and now it is time for you to put on your thinking hat and think of ideation. Okay. So, that is the next step in the process. We will have a look at another example. So, this is a digital payment system design. So, again observations, inferences, opportunities for design and then the recommendations. So, let us look at the first observation. Some users use ATM because they are not able to talk to ladies in the bank. Okay. So, this is something, it is very cultural, right, and one has to be perceptive of this. Okay. Some users find it easier to deal with a machine than a person of opposite sex, that is the inference. Okay. What is the opportunity for design? Explore ways to overcome social barriers. Okay. So, now you can put that as part of your design. Design a monetary transaction space where users are socially comfortable. Very simple, right? Started with not being able to talk to ladies, then it was easy for them to deal with a machine than a person of the opposite sex. Now you need to overcome these social barriers. So can you actually design a transaction system where people are socially comfortable? Okay, so let's look at another one. Parents are reluctant to give debit cards to children. Obviously, because once the debit cards are in the hands of children, they can just spend it. Okay. So easy access to money can be tempting to spend, right? That's the inference. Okay. So what is the opportunity? Explore having a family account with limits to children. That means the account has limited spending amount. So it's a family account. So you can define what is the limit here. Okay, and that gives you recommendations for design family payment system with different limits to each members of the family. Okay, it's observations, inferences, opportunities, recommendations. Okay, let's look at a third example. User lost money through debit card, and so he is very reluctant to use it. Credit and debit cards are seen as insecure. Okay, so that's the inference. What is the opportunity for design? Explore ways to make digital transactions more secure and feel secure. Okay, and if you look at the recommendations, design of a digital transaction system that also seen as secure. Got it? So he loses the perception of losing money through debit and cards. So they are reluctant to use this. So credit and debit cards are seen as insecure. So you need to make this digital transaction be secure and also feel secure. Okay, so the recommendations is, can you make the transaction system also seem to be seen as secure? So now we've done A, B and C. So those are the three observations through which we form this table. You can form more of them. You can prioritize it and decide which ones do you want to take forward. Now we come back to the same thing. You started with the problem. So now can we actually redefine this problem statement? So let's go to that. So let's have a look at it. The problem statement was design and digital payment system. Now after having done all these studies, both research, analysis, now you can do it as design of an easy to use, fully secure digital payment system that also feels secure, can be shared between family members with set limits and overcome social barriers in its use. Okay, so we kind of taken all the three factors that we just talked about into the problem statement itself. Okay, so you'll see that the problem statement is a lot more detailed, and now you're ready to go ahead and start ideation. So thanks a lot. This is section T8, week 8. Let's have a look at the summary of the tools from week 1 to week 8. Week 1 we did brainstorming. Week 2 we did mind mapping. Week 3 we asked a lot of questions, the 5W and the 1H. We even did a table out of it. Week 4 was making user participant mappings. Week 5 was contextual inquiry. Week 6 was questionnaires and cue cards. Week 7 was making these maps, artifact mapping, activity mapping and spatial mappings. And week 8 was personas and the OIOR table. Okay, so that's a lot of tools that you've learned from week 1 to 8. You can try all of them, explore all of them, because some way or the other they are very useful tools to solve a problem. But for submission, you need to do actually 4 tools. That means that you can pick up a tool from week 1 and 2, another from week 3 and 4, another from week 5 and 6, and another from weeks 7 and 8. But my recommendation is that you should try all of them. Okay, let's look at what we did at week 8. We looked at the design process, analysis part 2, and from inferences to recommendations. We looked at the tools, how to do personas and making the OIOR table. Now you'll actually implement it in your project, and we'll look at a very interesting case study of the Indian medicine system.